on the same and also share your views on the same. What will it take to attain the 2/3 gender rule? Why do we say that is important? Because remember, ever since the country, we find ourselves elections that have happened before, we've not been able to have equal proportion or equal numbers of both gender representation of people with disability represented well in all these offices. And it has been a bond of contention. So enter the 2010 Constitution, which says then it is a must for us to achieve 2/3 gender rule in all appointive and all the elected spaces that we do have. Political parties has been seen as an important aspect in ensuring that we achieve this through the nomination processes, through internal mechanisms, nominations, in ensuring that we achieve this, but we've not been able to achieve that. We have the affirmative officers. You talk about the office of the woman rep that has been put in place, but still, even with that, we're still unable to achieve the same. Chief Justice, former Chief Justice Emeritus David Maraga made a judgment during the time as the Supreme Court that maybe it's about time that the president at the time, former President Uhuru Kenyatta, played a role in disbanding parliament. Let's go back and ensure that we achieve the 2/3 gender rule, because at the time the constitution of parliament was unconstitutional, and continued operationalization of that house was going against the constitution. So then enter Aaron Cheruiyot, who is the senator and majority leader in the Senate, and this is what he's saying, that the Senate is considering a proposal that could reshape parliament's composition by introducing a formula to guarantee compliance with the 2/3 gender rule. Now, the Constitutional Amendment Bill number 2 of 2025, tabled by Majority Leader, that is Aaron Cheruiyot, aims to address long-standing challenges in ensuring equitable representation of men and women in both houses. The proposal further calls for changes to Article 90 of the Constitution to promote transparency in how political parties prepare their nomination list. It requires that party members be fully involved in the process through fair and democratic methods outlined in their constitutions and nomination rules. So here they're talking about political parties involving their members. So that means involving wananchi who form the political parties. Which is important to make decisions on who end up at the ballot, pretty much. So according to Cheruiyot, political parties should also ensure that their party lists reflect the inclusion of marginalized groups as provided under Article 100 of the Constitution, depending on the nature and composition of the list. That is just what the Senate now, through that bill, wants to do. But we've also done research and reports before that speak to the same.
So what he's trying to do is creating legislation to support what the Constitution has required, which is the expectation. A little bit way longer, and there's a delay that has been. But then when you're trying to mainstream and ensure that gender comes to the fore, it has been looked at that, most likely men are benefiting much more from this than the ordinary, the women. And that's why we need to have a process that probably would be able to help this be effected. Then the question you ask then is, do we really believe about the 2/3 gender rule? Do you think probably in our constitution what we did is an overkill, trying to put it in the constitution as a mandatory? It's not aspirational. It must be done. But then we are getting into headwinds every time we try to do this. I think there was a gender bill that was supposed to have, and it never passed. So there are issues around probably, is it a cultural problem? Do we have an issue with the fact that women should be representing, or we have a good number of women representing, in the political spaces, appointive positions in government, and other public service offices. So there's much more to be achieved, but then the question is, are we really ready for this? Just the same way maybe the biggest democracy in the world, the US, has had a chance to elect a woman president twice, and they've turned it down. So maybe we are not ready.
Yeah, I think there's a point where we have this conversation with Kenyans on where we find ourselves today with regard to 2/3 gender rule.